and our families are as healthy as we can be to guard against this virus. God wants us healthy, and we must refuse to tolerate sickness of any kind. It is your responsibility to walk in wellness. Today, I'm bringing back our friend Damon Davis, founder of the Zoe Wellness Center, an international certified health coach and author of God Cures. And together, the Zoe team of experts and doctors, we're going to be talking about some of the myths surrounding COVID-19. What to do if you or someone you love tests positive for this virus, and what you can do right now to strengthen your immune system. We will also tackle how to handle anxiety, fear, and stress during this pandemic. No matter how bleak the situation may look, God already made healing available for us 2,000 years ago. He has done his part. We must now do our part. So let's get started.
The nation is suffering through a crisis of epic proportions as the pandemic spirals further out of control.
The death toll now up well above 3,000, approaching 4,000 every day now.
The hospital system is bent about as far as it can bend.
94%, that's a huge number, of those who died of COVID-19 had an underlying condition.
This now is clearly the front line in the battle against COVID-19.
If you're a human, you're at risk of getting the virus because it's quite infectious. As to whether you're going to have a bad time or a relatively easy sailing will depend on factors like obesity, hypertension, diabetes, your health in general. Being in bad shape is a bad idea if you've got this very dangerous virus floating around all over the country.
As a society, we've just adopted so many unhealthy behaviors that we're not in a place to allow our bodies to work in a proper way. So whether it's a chronic condition like diabetes or the high cholesterol or high blood pressure, things like that, or even some autoimmune issues, the body is already at a reduced capacity to fight off anything that might come its way. So when you do get exposed to a virus like COVID, unfortunately, its ability to cause more damage is heightened.
We're looking at the numbers, and they're catastrophic. The number of people that are sick, the number of people that are dying as a result of COVID, but it is pale in comparison to the number of people who are dying every single year from heart disease, from type 1 and type 2 diabetes, the effects of that, from other autoimmune diseases, people that are dying from blood pressure issues, people that are having cardiac events. The numbers are out of control.
How many of those people would still be alive today if they were fit to fight, if they knew how to take responsibility for their own health?
COVID has spotlighted for the world just how serious a problem it is that people are not fit to fight anything.
I mean, where health is concerned, our country rates very low amongst the other countries in the world.
We live in a society that is not designed for us to succeed. We are surrounded by things that compromise our immune system, that cause us to become inflamed, that lead us to a lifestyle that leads us to obesity, that leads us to the dis-ease that you talk about. Poor food choices, packaged foods, processed foods, genetically modified foods. We have a health food crisis in the world. We have lost sight of what Hippocrates said, and by the way, it's all through the Bible, that food should be our medicine, and medicine should be our food. God created the food that we eat to support the body's immune system. So we are destroying it with lack of sleep, lack of hydration. We are destroying it with pharmaceutical medication. All of this stuff propping up a machine that is broken just to get by.
You are aware that something is wrong when you're carrying 60, 70 pounds overweight. You're understanding the stress that it puts on the heart, the stress that it puts on organs. You're going to be very susceptible to bad health. We don't know how to eat. We don't know the danger of sugar, which is highly inflammatory. We don't know the dangers of vegetable oil. We don't know the dangers of a lot of things. And so when it comes to my people, black people, we have soul food, which we enjoy soul food, but that stuff will kill you, Damon. And we don't understand how to eat, how to prepare this. You came up in a household, mama always prepared the meal this way. Crisco oil, high butter, all that kind of stuff. We don't know how to change that.
Yeah. It's not just the 20 pounds around your waist that we need to worry about. It's something called visceral fat.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas comes and you open the box and all the little white popcorn stuff is protecting the machinery inside that game system or that beautiful vase. Well, the body has what's called visceral fat, and that's the fat that's supposed to be around the heart and lungs, those organs that need to be protected from impact. But do you realize that you can have a serious visceral fat problem where there's so much fat around your organs that your heart is having to beat so hard to get the blood through? Why? Not because the heart's old, not because there's maybe heart dis-ease, but often because you've got so much packing around it, it's literally choking the life out of you.
60% of America at the moment is either overweight or obese. It's not that your weight is just there and is uncomfortable and makes you not feel good about yourself, but the weight actually has metabolic effects. If your weight is high and you have a family history of diabetes, you are much, much more likely to develop blood sugar issues. If your weight is high, you're more likely to have high blood pressure issues. If your weight is not where it needs to be, it's telling you your body's not going to be at optimal level.
Very simply, let's talk about this COVID thing. There are myths and there are realities. A myth that the virus will be stopped by a mask. And hear me now, I'm not saying don't wear a mask. Let's follow what we're encouraged to do by the science. What a mask does is reduce the spread. What will save you is if you are as strong and as fit and as protected as the man in armor behind me.
In terms of what you can do, I truly believe that how you go into COVID, meaning your basic physical fitness and state, how do you sleep, your stress management, your underlying medical conditions, how you eat, how you move, what supplements you take, I truly believe that that will discover how bad this viral infection may or may not be for you. So how you go into it is going to reflect how you come out of it.
We have contracted the virus from someone who is a carrier. The virus is being carried on little particles of saliva and spit and snot through the air 13 feet. It's landing on surfaces and staying there. You're touching that. It's getting into your eyes, into your mouth, through your nose. The virus is now invading your body, and what is it doing? The virus is literally impregnating your cell, and it is reorganizing how the cell functions. It is turning your cells into manufacturing facilities for the very virus itself so that it can attack every organ in your body. Well, what happened? Why are we so susceptible? Why are we catching a cold so fast? Why, if someone gets the flu, you always get it too? Yet some people are in great health and seem to walk through sickness and disease untouched. Seem to walk through, somebody gets a cold, they're untouched. They never get the flu. You know those people. The rest of us are just sitting targets for sickness and disease. Why?
And I've got to tell you, there was a reason why blacks were more susceptible to COVID-19 than a lot of races. It's because of our poor health condition, pre-existing medical conditions, and just in a lot of cases, a lot of ignorance and fear about learning how things operate.
If you have been diagnosed with COVID, that does not mean you're going to die. It means you are very, very likely to live. Most people have mild COVID-19. About 80% of people have mild COVID-19 and are going to get better, and that can range from no symptoms at all to a cough and a runny nose. Quite a lot of people, but not all, get fever, a lot of fatigue, chills, diarrhea and bowel movement changes are quite common, as is this very interesting symptom that we've all read about in the news, which is called anosmia, meaning not being able to smell. So there is a percentage of people where it's going to travel to your lungs, at which point this is a little bit more serious. They can have a fever, they can have a cough, but most importantly is it's how bad their breathing is and how low their saturations are. The patients who did very badly that I saw in April, many of whom unfortunately did not survive, those were the patients with uncontrolled diabetes.
If you look at the percentage of the population that has the high blood pressure, the diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and when you add COVID on top of it, essentially it just exacerbates the mortality we had in the population to begin with.
I believe that there's time for a new movement, a movement to show people that you can become fit to fight.
That's right.
You can have a situation to attack your physical body, but if you know and have an understanding of how to become fit to fight, then you're going to be able to overcome what a large percentage of people would die of.
That's true.
Because your body is fit to fight.
That's right.
The vaccine is going to be an important tool when it comes to addressing COVID in general. The vaccine is specifically targeting the COVID virus. But once you do get the vaccine, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to change your behavior. It'll definitely decrease the chances of you being hospitalized from it, but that doesn't eliminate the burden of the high blood pressure, diabetes, cardiovascular disease that the majority of the population is fighting. So you still need to focus on making healthy behavior changes, eating the right things, getting your exercise, because that's going to be important to improve your health in general.
You want your immune system to be in top shape. You want to be eating properly and sleeping properly and eating an anti-inflammatory diet, because COVID-19 causes an inflammatory effect. Eating foods that are going to help reduce rather than increase your inflammation is going to have a positive effect.
God created our body that no matter how far along we have gone, if you get it into the right place, create homeostasis, balance, where we're eating right, sleeping through the night, hydrating, we have diminished stress, we're adding more good things to our life and take away the bad stuff. And the body will do something fascinating. It will respond. It will regenerate. It will begin to heal itself.
Your body is designed to work in a certain way. The unfortunate part is whether you're working too many hours or not eating the proper things, not getting the exercise required, you're not presenting the best environment for your body to work at the optimum level. And small changes to, again, your activity level and diet can make all the differences in the world.
You're sleeping 4 hours a night, that's a problem.
Yep.
You're drinking maybe a glass of water a week. I'm hydrated on soda, on coffee, on booze. And by the way, you can get hydration from liquids. We're talking about the kind of hydration that feeds the cells and supports the body. And you would be amazed at how many people watching right now don't drink a single glass of water a day because they don't understand the importance.
Wow.
They don't understand how that extra few hours of sleep, oh, I feel good. I'd only need 4 hours. Macho man. They don't realize that the few extra hours they will get is actually when the body is actually regenerating. If you want to have good skin, if you want to rewind the clock, find a way to discipline yourself enough to get a few extra hours, because that's when the healing process occurs. People just don't know.
And your body is mostly made up of water. And so we've just developed these habits where we're not drinking enough water, or if we are drinking liquids, it's either soda or sugary beverages or these other things. And if you're not well hydrated, you're just affecting the way the body can fight off invaders or just to carry out normal everyday processes. A lot of regeneration and healing occurs while you're sleeping. And so if we're not sleeping properly, either too few hours a night or the sleep is not restful, you are blocking the ability for the body to regenerate itself. So that's an important component as well.
Dr. Dower, the saddest thing for me is to look at these case studies and see how many pills people are popping to prop up some condition to just get you through.
And that's what they're doing, propping it up, right?
They're propping it up.
Yeah.
Thank God for medicine. But why are we living in the hospital?
Wow.
Why are we living in the waiting room?
Wow.
Why are we living at the pharmacy? Statistics say that the average person above the age of 50 is on 2 or more medications, propping something up.
Unfortunately, there's a large segment of the population that they say, just give me a pill shot or some other method of applying a medication and let that take care of it. And that's the wrong way to approach it. Essentially, you should be maximizing what you can do, but you shouldn't rely entirely on a medication when, again, if you just make a change in your behavior, you can avoid the issue altogether.
If you're losing 20, 30 pounds, your blood sugars are going to free fall, your cholesterol's going to go down, your blood pressure's going to go down, the inflammation's going to go down, the insulin is going to go down, you're going to be able to breathe better, you'll probably have less sleep apnea, you're going to be able to move better, your mood will be better, you'll have better energy, and most importantly, you are less likely to die. So this could not be more important than losing weight as though your life depended on it, because you are going to have a better life if you do.
So weight loss, this is not just appearance. This is not just losing weight so you can look good, but it's losing weight so you can feel good, so your body can function well, so that you can have the restoration of the proper God-given functioning of your body.
That's right. People in my center who come through the doors of Zoe, they're losing 20 pounds in 20 days, 30 pounds in 30 days, 67 pounds. We have people that are losing weight, they're getting off medication, they are living again, they're excited.
My last visit to my doctor, my blood pressure was such that he actually took me off the medication. Yes.
30 days ago, I was 268 pounds. Today, I'm 33 pounds lighter. When I went to the doctor, and he was just amazed at the weight I had lost. I'm down 3 meds since the 30-day period. Finally found something that works.
And been diagnosed with congestive lung failure, diabetes, all at 41. Doctors have estimated if I'm not able to lose the weight, I will be dead in 5 years. The first 30 days, I lost 47.8 pounds. My doctor saw me and about had a cow. My blood work came back better. I don't have to take any insulin right now, no pain, and I feel great. It's a complete life-changing experience.
Dr. Dower, we're on a wellness revolution.
Yes.
That is what we are attempting to accomplish with Zoe Wellness Centers of America.
You know, Damon, the other day I was taking a look at the year-end review, and there was a moment there where we took time to honor all the people who had gone home to be with the Lord. Now, we do that every year, but I noticed that it took one complete song and almost a half of another song to cover all the people who had died.
These are members from the church?
These are members from our churches, Atlanta, New York, and some other places. And they died of various things, of cancer, heart attacks. Some died of COVID, and my emotions were tripping over one another. I was a little angry because I'm thinking, how many of those people would still be alive today if they were fit to fight, if they knew how to take responsibility for their own health?
Yeah.
And I picked the phone up and I called you and I said, listen, I need help. If you could get together with the doctors, you get together with your staff at Zoe, and come up with a package, come up with something that would give people hope, something that would prepare them to be fit to fight, to strengthen their immune system, and that even if they got COVID, to show them that there are ways to defeat it, to recover from it, and to prevent it.
I will never forget, you said, if I may, you said, Damon, I am tired of seeing my people die and feeling like we're helpless to do anything about it.
I am committed with you and your team to do whatever has to be done so that we can see a movement that will challenge people to become fit to fight.
I was pretty swamped in fear for a while as it relates to COVID, and anything that I can do to kind of improve myself right now, I need it to survive.
COVID is here and it's targeting people that's overweight.
When COVID-19 came in and all of the things that was happening with it, with people with pre-existing conditions, I knew that I had to do something.
You challenged us to build a protocol to address the core issue of fear and support if someone should have the virus. We had to get to the core. Why are people being impacted by it at all? Because they are susceptible to contract it. We must deal with the immune system.
Yeah.
Spotlighting the reality that is we weren't fit to fight at all to begin with. So we built a protocol that deals with all of the things that we can do naturally to get the body fit to fight.
Yeah.
To create an immune armor on that body to defend itself from the virus.
Fit to Fight is a protocol provided by Zoe Wellness that helps provide you with supplemental nutrients as well as a diet that can help reduce inflammation to help the body protect itself.
Dr. Dalrin, we have 2 protocols together as one unit. Will give you all of the confidence and the assurance that you need inside the Immune Armor Plus program. We have included a journal that people can track their progress, write down what they're eating. There's some amazing recipes, the kind of foods to get, kind of foods to buy, how to prepare those foods, amazing menu of how to eat to get the body fit to fight throughout, before COVID and if you contract COVID. We also have an alkaline wand, and it basically is a tool that you drop into your water, and it will bring the water to a perfect pH balance, which is just great for the system. And incorporating throughout this protocol nutritional supplements, organic, the best made, doctor reviewed, the kind of supplements you need to take. Vitamin D, and one of the best sources in the world, because science now tells us, all of the hospitals are reporting that people who are vitamin D deficient are susceptible to have a mortality event greater than people who have vitamin D in their body. So we have a great vitamin D product that's in our prevention kit. We have an amazing anti-inflammatory omega product. It's from krill. We know the sources, those little tiny shrimp that are in the ocean. It's one of the best sources of omega that is out there, all natural. And then we have a supplement in our protocol called Immune Armor. It's one of the best immune support concoctions you will ever find.
Immune Armor is a supplement composed of various herbs and berries to help supplement the immune system to allow it to work at its optimum level. Another component of the protocol is the krill oil supplement, which is important in helping the body maintain healthy cholesterol levels, as well as support the immune system, which again is an important part in helping the body protect itself.
The supplements are designed to have powerful effects on your immune system in terms of immune support.
But then number 2, a COVID care kit.
Yeah.
A protocol that when you get that call that someone has been diagnosed and you're terrified and you're all alone and you don't know what to do next and you panic, you got to have some place to call.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get on the phone with a center with trained people who care about you that are going to help talk you through what's going on, to help you understand what to do next. So we built a COVID care protocol that's supported by my team, and within it now, the kind of supplements you need to take. We keep them on vitamin D when they're going through COVID. We tell them what kind of foods they need to eat now to deal with inflammation. We deal with still keeping their body fit to fight through COVID.
So the constant contact our team has with the patient helps them navigate through that. So again, they have the best outcome, they stay positive, and they have a real-time feedback mechanism in case anything may happen to go off the rails. We're able to correct that immediately, put them back on track, so again, they have the best results.
The vast majority of people are going to be absolutely fine. In fact, 80% of people are going to have mild symptoms, and some people are going to have no symptoms at all. So you're very likely to be fine with this. What we want to do is support your body so we know you're going to be fine. But we also need to know you're doing okay because you've been diagnosed. You need to monitor things. And as a result of that, we have the COVID kit. And this is a support kit.
And we added 3 other things that we felt were very important. One is a thermometer so we can keep that temperature checked. Number 2, we have something called a pulse oximeter. It's a small little device. You've seen them if you've gone to the hospital and they put this little thing on your finger. What is it measuring? It's measuring not just the rate at which your blood is flowing, but it's measuring the oxygen in your blood. So we know that COVID attacks the lungs, and we know that people have an oxygen level problem in their blood. We want to find out what's going on. And then finally, we put a device that is a medical grade, it's called a spirometer. It's a lung strengthener. So when you are hit by COVID and you're at home and this virus is wreaking havoc on the lungs, we're going to give you something to include the exact way that every day you're going to breathe into this little apparatus, and it's going to work the lungs and keep the lungs strong.
And a lot of times when we're feeling ill or not well, we're laying in the bed, we're taking shorter breaths, it may be difficult to breathe. So the incentive spirometer is a tool to make sure that you are expanding your lungs and getting the air in and out, so that again, you're not setting up a more inviting environment for a pneumonia or some other issue.
Remember, the most important organ that we're caring about with a COVID-19 diagnosis is the lungs. The way we decide whether or not you have bad COVID and need to be hospitalized, it's actually based on your oxygen saturation. So your oxygen saturation is by far the most important thing that you can monitor at home, because that is going to tell you where you are going.
We armed people with a protocol to fight it off, but if they get it, we're giving them a protocol to get through it.
We as women are taught to take care of others, but the airlines tell us you have to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help somebody else. I plan to be here 6 months from now, and I plan to be better than I am today.
One of the statements that was made to me was, we're going to fix what's on the inside so your body can do what it's naturally made to do. I said, this is the program for me.
I would say, do it today. Don't wait. It's worth it. Your life is worth it, your family is worth it, and the promise of some longevity in a world that has so much uncertainty, this is the thing to do.
Dr. Dahl, we're inside the COVID care kit and inside of the Immune Armor Plus program. We have included a journal that people can track their progress. There's some amazing recipes, the kind of foods to get, kind of foods to buy, how to prepare those foods. It's an amazing menu of how to eat to get the body fit to fight throughout, before COVID and if you contract COVID. We have the supplements, we have the pulse oximeter, we have the lung strengthener, type 2 medical device, all of this inside this program. But Dr. Dahl, we added 2 other things that I felt would be very important for the people. Number 1, they're dealing with the issue of fear. One of the most powerful books that I read that helped me when I was going through my own diagnoses was your book, Overcoming Fear, where you speak openly, transparently about your own journey and help remind me of how I'm supposed to be thinking when something should visit my home. And then we added one more thing. I included inside of this COVID protocol a confession CD from you, where they're healing scriptures and you're walking a believer through how to speak over our life. Explain a little bit about that if you would. I put that inside this bundle as well.
The Bible says that death and life is in the power of the tongue. So when you confess the word of healing, you are releasing the power that's invested in what Jesus has already done. When you confess the word of healing and you confess the word of God, then you are taking possession of those promises of healing. So if Jesus has already healed us, it is up to us to release it through our mouth and to take possession of the promise that has already been made of healing. So you're literally grabbing a hold of and you are appropriating the healing that Jesus said he's already accomplished by opening your mouth up, releasing your faith, taking possession of that healing. And like a man who goes fishing, you reel it in. So confessing the word will absolutely help you to obtain the promises in these healing scriptures.
That deals with the two things you asked us to tackle. Educating people on the importance of their health, to get fit to fight, to have the kind of armor that can be on them behind me to fight off sickness and disease. And Damon, what do we do if we get it? We have the right eating plan, we have the right regimen that we have designed, we have the right supplements that you can take, and we have some medical devices that are very affordable that you can use at home to help see you through. These two protocols, together as one unit, will give you all of the confidence and the assurance that you need so that if this virus should visit your home, you do not need to be terrified. You do not need to be panicked. You do not need to give up hope.
Fit to Fight is incredibly important. It is a program that is going to really boost your overall health, to put you in the best condition you can be so that if you are exposed to the virus, you are in the best shape so that your body is going to be able to fight this virus.
The success rate we have is phenomenal. And here at Zoe Wellness, we have that team to help you.
I am so grateful for what God has put on your heart to provide information, facilities, protocols, and supplements that we can now begin this journey. We can now become a part of a movement of renewing our minds where health is concerned, and a place we can go to find out how to become fit to fight, how to look at disease in the face and not have fear, because we understand how things operate. And I am very glad to say that I have been healthy throughout the entire pandemic. I have been healthy for quite some time. I mean, since my cancer diagnosis, and I accepted this challenge of becoming responsible for my health. I've accepted the challenge of understanding how my body operates, understanding what it needs, understanding how to become fit to fight. And I saw Taffy go through that journey. And not that she was obese, but she wanted to see if it worked, and it worked. And this is something that is so amazing.
Dr. Darwin, I'm on a mission to get this body fixed up so that the spirit and soul can operate the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. And wholeness is that objective. Spirit, soul, and body. Whole in your spirit, whole in your soul. Same word translates peace. Same word translates prosperity.
Yeah.
All of these things come from being whole. And we have this wonderful opportunity to participate and engage in Zoe Wellness Centers to begin the revolution, to begin the wholeness, to begin the journey. And I am so grateful and so thankful that Zoe Wellness Center exists. The understanding and the joy that I have seen in those testimonials of people coming in and they're happy after experiencing their journeys. They're happy and they feel well and they look good. And their attitude has had a reset, and there's been a reset that's taken place in their life. And there's been a restoration. And I'm reminded when David went away with his small army and he came back and the family was missing and a lot of stuff he's missing. And he went before God and he said, "Shall we pursue?" And God spoke and said, "You shall pursue, you shall recover, and you shall just get it all back, conquer it all." And I believe that's the battle that we're talking about here today.
Yeah.
Shall I pursue this health? Shall I pursue in this journey? I hear the Lord saying, yeah, you should pursue.
Yeah.
You shall overcome and you shall recover all.
Amen.
And I believe that's the time. This is a great time of restoration. Even though the pandemic has exposed a lot of things in our lives, with our attitudes, with our relationships, and hopefully with our health, God has also been working in the midst of this. He's been working with Zoe Wellness Center and providing the intelligence and the protocol and the camaraderie, if you will, of the experts and the doctors coming together and saying there is a better way. We now have answers. We have solutions. We have a place we can go.
That's right.
We can now look at any attack, any diseasement that comes our way, and we can live a life of wholeness.
That's right.
A life of understanding. Damon, I cannot thank you and God enough for you and Natalie and your team for being obedient, for accepting the challenge. You know, without challenges, there are no changes.
Wow, that's
and you
good.
keep accepting the challenge, and the challenge translates into changes. So, man.
Thank you.
You got me. I'm about to shout over health and the things that I'm learning today. I learned so much. My prayer is that you and the team and the Zoe team will make a mark that cannot be erased in the lives of people, that God is all in this thing.
You do not need to give up hope. We are there with you every step of the way. And thank you, sir, for commissioning us to build that.
Well, I tell you what, it's certainly eased my mind. I'm so thrilled to be able to take this information to our congregation, my family, and friends, and say you don't have to fear. Help is here. Let's take full advantage of it.
Yeah. Thank you.